got? Who's that?
Duck.
Yeah, is Duck coming? Coming on holiday? That's right. We're heading out on our first proper short city break abroad with a toddler, so we thought we'd share our experience with you. Think of this as less of a travel guide and more of one possible, very realistic itinerary for 48 hours in Copenhagen with an energetic toddler. We have arrived in Copenhagen, woohoo! We've just checked into our Airbnb. It is still fairly early, I think it's like midday, which means we have a good chunk of the day to go. This morning was a 4:30 a.m. wake up, which is early. Rhea didn't even want to get up and she's usually the one trying to get us out of bed. But we made it to the airport and the flight was super smooth. Rhea was amazing. She was just playing. You're drawing a heart? Yeah, Mummy drew that for you, didn't she? And it's a beautiful day. It is just a little bit colder than Manchester, which Jack has been complaining about, but I think it's fine. We have been here before, so there isn't as much pressure to do the basics, but come along with us for some ideas of what to see and, more importantly, eat the next time you're in Copenhagen. This cafe and bakery was right next to our Airbnb. They serve coffee that hit the spot, had really great baked goods. I think it's a baking school as well. With plenty of space and seating, this place was great for meeting friends and gathering the tots. We're still learning, but I think the key to enjoying your travels with a toddler is to do the things that you want to do, but schedule them around their timetable and their pace. In a past life, our schedule would have been jam-packed from sunrise till sunset. Nowadays, we only schedule 2 or 3 flights in a day. Because for her to have a good time, she needs to run around and explore on her own terms, and we don't want to feel pressured around that. We generally schedule things she won't enjoy, like clothes shopping in her naps. And we, of course, make sure to go to a playground at least once a day, which, to be fair, Copenhagen made very easy.
Wow, you're so high!
The stairs are going up. Oh! Cool! I don't think I've ever seen that before. Did you know that Copenhagen is the place to have a street hot dog? And we made it our mission to have one every day. This is the organic hot dog stand, conveniently parked up right next to the Rundebahn, the round tower.
That's really good. Let's queue again.
Queue again. So the Round Tower is a 17th century astronomical observatory, and it's iconic because of the spiral walkway that leads almost all the way to the top.
Mommy, Dad! Dad!
Are you coming?
The walkway and cubby holes on the way up also make the tower such a fun excursion for little ones. Getting all the way up was one big adventure. There are then some steps to the observation deck, which is a great place to really get the lay of the city. You can see as far as Malmö in Sweden across the water. We can do, yeah. We finished the day off at the National Aquarium of Denmark. Having dragged Rhea around the city all day, it was only fair that we did something just for her and her kitty pals too. Safe to say she loved it. If you're into your architecture, this building is actually a work of art, and being right on the water and just a stone's throw from the airport, it's a great place to watch boats and planes too. We're just heading to the Design Museum through TODDLER. I don't know if that's how you pronounce it. It's a star-shaped fort right here in the city. It's been turned into these beautiful gardens. There's literally like a motorway running right by it, or like a really busy throughway. But this is just like a little piece of nature right in the heart of Copenhagen. Now, if a city has a design museum, as design enthusiasts, we always make it a mission to visit, all the more so in a design mecca like Copenhagen. Now, most museums are generally a great thing to do with toddlers as well. There's space to run around and there's usually interactive exhibits. Now, although this museum was beautiful, the building was really impressive, as was the spatial design of the exhibits. I think they really used the architecture well here. I thought it struggled a little bit on the child friendliness side of things. Like, you aren't really allowed to bring anything in. We had to empty the pram. Rhea wasn't allowed to have a bottle in the exhibit, which I think makes it virtually inaccessible for parents with younger babies. So I think there's a bit of work to do there, but we did really enjoy the exhibits. In a circle. Lunch was at Bottega Bali, a real gem for modern, fresh food and wine. This place is super hyped up. It's a little bit on the pricier side, but I would say the food makes it worth the hype. Definitely more geared towards the grown-ups, but there was outside seating if you need to let your little one run around. We actually managed to time this perfectly whilst the kiddos were napping. We followed this up with some excellent coffee at Kitchen by Studio X. I'm told the pastries here are great too, but sadly they were all sold out by the time we got there. And we followed that up with a stroll in the King's Gardens, Kogenhaven, which have an appropriately dragon-themed playground, which Jack and I both really appreciated. I mean, Rhea really appreciated. I have to say that the vast and beautifully maintained green spaces are a real draw of Copenhagen, and if you have kids, the playgrounds are too. They're often as exciting for grown-ups as they are for the kids, with themes, incorporated art and statues, and even things like treks that the kids can borrow. I mean, can you imagine that in the UK? They're also around every corner, so whenever we had a little bit of time to kill, we took Rhea to some nearby swings, which means she tested quite a few, and I would say her reviews were overall positive. Now, a trip to Copenhagen wouldn't be complete without a walk down Nyhavn, the new harbour, with its iconic, colourful townhouses, one of which was home to Hans Christian Andersen himself in the 19th century. We capped our trip off with a boat ride, which I couldn't recommend enough, frankly, for any harbour town. We just took the boat bus, to be honest, but we've done boat tours here in the past and they've been really enjoyable. And we had the pleasure of sailing right past the Dannebrog, the royal yacht. Rhea and her friends loved every minute of this, and the grown-ups got to rest their feet and actually have a conversation whilst the tots ran around and went wild for the boats. And we managed a final hot dog before hopping on a plane to our next destination. I hope you enjoyed coming along on this whistle-stop tour of Copenhagen with us, and make sure to subscribe and join us next week in Finland. Until then, friends, bye!